What's up, y'all? And welcome back to Seton Hill Studios. Hope you're having an amazing day out there so far. So today, we're going to be checking out Roy Clark again, Malagueña, but this time we're looking at a live version. There was a lot of debate about which version was the best, the one on The Odd Couple or him doing it live. So I said I would check out both. We've already seen the Odd Couple one. It was amazing. So now we're going to check it out live. And it looks like he's playing it on a 12 string, which is even crazier. I can't imagine how tough his calluses must be on his hands, because playing a song like this on a 12 string, it hurts me just talking about it. But I'm sure he can pull it off, and it's going to be epic. He never lets us down. He's an amazing musician, so I'm excited to hear it. Looks like this one's longer as well, so maybe we'll get a little more going on it than what we was limited to on the TV show. All right, y'all, but before we get into it, a few ways you can continue to support the channel. Right down below, you can hit that subscribe button. It's an easy and free way to show some love. You can also head on over to Patreon and become a member there. If that doesn't work for you, right here on YouTube, you can become a channel member. Both of those are going to get you access to priority requests as well as other perks and features. And as always, with a one-time donation through Buy Me a Coffee, you can get a guaranteed request either Steven or I'll check out right here on the channel. All right, y'all, let's get into it. All right, folks, here we go. Roy Clark, this time with a live version of Malagueña. I'm excited to get into it. Let's go.
I love to do that to him. Now, he'll worry about that until morning. Now, I have a problem here. My main problem is the shape of the back of this guitar and the shape of the front of me. Because you can tell from the side view they're not going to fit. One of them ought to pooch in.
I feel you, Roy.
But this is a Spanish-flavored song I'd like to try for you that flew up from Cuba about 9 years ago, and I put it in a fruit jar and watered it. It never would grow, so I picked it.
Come on.
Now, don't start murmuring to yourself.
Oh,
I'm getting ready
man.
to pick it again. If you're taking notes, the name of it is Malagueña.
Malagueña.
I got to take this plug
Okay.
out, lest I don't know what I'll remember. M-A-L-A Gueña.
You can't be this talented and that funny, man. It's not fair. So good, man. So just in case there was any debate, you can clearly see all 12 strings are on there. I've seen people play 12-string guitars and leave some of the strings off. That's not the case this time. So we can settle that debate now, now that we can see it. But, dude, my hands are already hurting just watching him play this. Like, I don't know. I don't play as often as I used to, so my calluses aren't what they once were. But that takes some serious strength on top of the fact of with the calluses, with just some strength to be able to continue to play those chords with a 12 string. I got mad respect for this dude. He's got monster hands. So did you see when he was doing that alternating bass line part? Well, I guess it wasn't alternating bass line, but it was just a walking bass line. The bounce in his hand. Um, that's not an easy thing to kind of catch that rhythm and keep that bounce going. His technique is out of this world. So last time y'all filled me in, I'd never heard this song before. I did the last reaction video to the one on the Odd Couple, and y'all filled me in. This is technically under the umbrella of flamenco music. I didn't know that. Thanks for filling me in. But yeah, this is super cool, man. This is not a genre of music that I've ever delved into at all. I mean, it's a whole nother culture's music that I don't really know or understand. But the talent level to play and write stuff like this is you got to respect it, regardless of whether you know anything about it. You recognize immediately, like, hey, this is tough stuff. All right, let's keep it going. His hand, man. It's just a blur. Those quick little up and down stroke patterns is just, and it's not even like I think I said this in the last video, man. It's not even like he's just doing it across one string or two strings. He's doing it across all 12 strings, which is just crazy because the ground that you have to cover to do something like that is so much more than if you're just doing quick alternate picking stuff on a single string. And so to be able to cover that ground, you got to have such control of your wrist and your joints to be able to make that happen. And it's clean too. It's not sloppy at all, which is it's just wild. Like he's just good. And so I don't know anything about flamenco music. Is it normal to play a 12 string in this type of music? I have no clue. Fill me in the comments. I like to be as informed as possible. And can't know everything. You only know what you know, but a lot of you guys out there know a lot about this. So fill me in. Definitely. I welcome the information as always. So this is just crazy, man. I would have done given up. We're like 4 minutes in and my hands will be bleeding trying to play something like this on a 12 string. I wouldn't even attempt it, man. Just lightning fast strumming, man. the guitar plugged up and him doing that on a 12 string, that part, I like it even more than the last video. That was super cool. I'm going to go back and watch it again just like I did last time. All of the percussive elements of that, where he's hitting the backbeat of it with his palm and his fist against the guitar, and then he's doing all this extra rhythmic stuff in between that makes it what it is. Honestly, the shining star of this part, and I said this last time, it's actually not all of the plucking and the notes that he's walking up. It's all of the in-between stuff. Because if you just sat there and did that and walked that line plucking it, it would be cool, but it's not the same without all of that extra percussive elements in between. And he's a genius, man. I know he didn't write this, so whoever wrote it, I guess, is a genius. But being able to pull it off and do all that stuff, man, this is like a precursor to a lot of like modern day stuff. And he's doing this like, I don't even know when this was recorded. It's got to be at least 30, 40 years ago, probably, I would imagine. And he's out here doing stuff that people think is groundbreaking today. And I guess, like myself, they've just never seen and never heard this. He's nuts, man. I'm going to go back and watch that part again, because that's my favorite. I think that's my favorite part of the whole thing, honestly. And is this arrangement? Y'all let me know. This is an extended version, it looks like, over what he did on The Odd Couple. Which version is closer to the original composition? Because they, I would imagine that like the one on The Odd Couple, they had to do it a condensed for time's sake. So I would say maybe lean towards this is closer, but I don't really know. Y'all fill me in. But yeah, we're going to check this out again. He's sweating, man. Such a good part. Hey, I love that little touch at the end too. Back to the bluegrass. This must have been some kind of variety show, I guess, maybe. He's out of control, man.
Happy New Year. God bless you. Merry Christmas.
Man, hey, he crushed it again, just like we knew he would. We saw it on TV. Some people liked it on TV. Some people prefer this. I think both versions had their own intricacies that made him great. This one, though, man, pulling that off on a 12 string, that's no joke. All right, y'all. What'd you think? The live version or the Odd Couple version? They both brought so much to the table. I really loved them both. This one was, he did a lot more. I think he had a little more freedom because it was his own live show. And, he showed out like he always does. I loved that percussive, slapping and popping stuff that he was doing on the 12 string live. That was killer. All of the percussive stuff, hitting the guitar, hitting the strings, really, again, like I said, that made the section what it is. But I was looking forward to that the entire time, and not to discount any of the rest of it. That's obviously the most showy, kind of flashy part of what he's doing. And so, of course, that would probably get the most attention. But, I mean, when you really dive into it, it deserves the recognition that it gets, not just because it's showy and because it's flashy, but because it actually is extremely technically difficult to do and pull it off at the level that he pulled it off. The guitar sounded awesome. It was an ovation. I've said it before. I think it was in the Glenn Campbell video. They're not my favorite guitars in the world, but they do have a very distinct sound, and it served this song well. This song translated to a 12-string really well. Again, I don't know if that's a normal thing in that style of music. Y'all have to let me know. But he crushed it, man. And he's hilarious. Why? Like I said, you're not allowed to be that talented and that funny. Like, you got to just pick one or the other. Like, come on, man. You save some room for the rest of us out here. All right, y'all. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so every time we drop new content, you guys can be made aware. And as always, we'll see you on the next one.